realize reality can be deceptive. Isn't it? But this isn't about you. It's about him now. Don't pretend you don't know him. We're all subconsciously familiar with him. He is the one in whose lair we will come at least once. He's the one we can't last long without. It comes when we are sad to cheer us up. Comes when we have fun that we would be sad. Most importantly, it comes when it is not expected. Rather, it is never expected. But he still visits you and me regularly. Things have happened in your life that cannot be explained logically and you just perceive them as if they should be, but still reality has deceived you by playing a cruel joke. Time is not a unit of measurement, it is an organism, it is a parasite of being that we have no right to resist. And any attempt to do this is doomed to failure. Do you know the feeling of hopelessness and doom? It's like you're in an empty rainy city and you know something's going to happen but you don't know what. You think that this is normal and perceive it as a normal phenomenon. But on a subconscious level, this is not the case. An inner voice tells us to run and we go forward. It's not about our courage at all, it's about our lack of common sense. We're all kind of crazy. We are doomed to be so. This is the price of consciousness and the top in the chain of evolution. The brain of a living being is simply not able to perceive the world as it is. So we see logic where it doesn't exist. However, the whole world is quite logical from our point of view. And the reality in which we live we call the truth. If you're honest, I won't tell anyone. Have you heard this often? And how often did a person fulfill their promise after that? However, you still fall for such an obvious lie. We are not only easy to deceive. We take great pleasure in humping ourselves. Lying has long ceased to be normal. Or rather, it never was. Or maybe a lie is just as true. In a healthy body's DoomedToWander knife. The children are asleep and I look out the window at them. Just kidding, I never leave my basement. I'm encrypted in the basement. I have a lot of skeletons in my closet, but I'm sure you have more. What if the world you live in is a coma or a bad trip? Coming out of which you will be a completely different person. A different person, and it is quite possible to forget about today's yourself. You just disappear into oblivion in a lie. Yes, the physical body will live but you will be dead. But what if the process of lobotomy is nothing more than an attempt to pomajaj yourself? After all, some agree to this voluntarily. Literally commit suicide. Have you thought about him? Don't pretend you don't know what I'm talking about. We are all subconsciously aware of it. You can laugh at what I say, no one can forbids you to do this. Why am I doing this? That we will all come to him. To whom? You've seen it before. Maybe even in person. Is it appropriate to talk about bad trip? Few came to his temple. Too difficult. How come? Of them came measures. Proto-Corota alive. I had to step over the meaning. The fabric of our world is very thin indeed. It doesn't really exist. This is just a limitation created by our brain. But it is too subtle to give a result worthy of his gaze. You are able to break physics, logic, maybe even time. But you want to, because you haven't seen it closer. The crown of God's creation is that of our mind. Distorts beyond recognition. Most people are retro people. Recognize they are incapable of being so. Fatal. Think. Wait for him. Wish for the first day to buy us up to the truth and where am I? Why drive nails into the skull? Who am I? Why are you here? The walls absorb them slowly, digesting their screams are no longer heard. October is always short. Naborg Eternal. Wet synthetic fabric rubs the whites of your eyes until they bleed. Rusty scissors cut through the flesh while a thin sheet of paper cuts through your skin between your fingers and the needle slowly enter under your nails. Why are they crawling? Cheap drugs. Most often, homemade ones have kept me awake for years. Hi, how are you? I hope it's bad, but